You might have noticed that I haven't mentioned the ventilation silencer boxes since day 5. Well, they needed to be installed today, and it turned out to be a bit of a race to the finish line. Here's the story from the beginning.
Going down, going down, going down, sinking down.
It's been a hell of a day today. We've gotten through a lot, but we're not quite where we wanted to be. What do you think though? This is the front door entryway. It's going to have weatherboards on the front to match my house. And you might notice some little ventilation pipes poking out. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. But if you come on inside, we have the beginnings of some insulation in the roof, which Sean put in for us today. I've got to put the rest of it in tonight, hopefully before the walls go, the sheeting goes on. And over at this side, you can see that we've got the framing up and the big ventilation silencer boxes either side. Now, the really difficult thing about these silencer boxes was where to put them, because logic would probably tell you, why don't I just put them in the ceiling, like up in the joists in those areas up there? They would probably fit up there, but they weigh about 130 kilos each, I think, maybe 120. So to try and get them up there safely and without ruining the framing and the structure and all that stuff, it's just not realistic. It would probably throw the whole roof out of balance too. So putting them here lost me about 1/2 metre of room space, and I think that's fine. The other thing to keep in mind here is that we've got 2 rooms, a room inside a room, and these boxes can touch one but not the other. So if you look here, you can see that the box is hard up against this frame. It's going to be permanently mounted to that tomorrow, but there's actually a little gap here where the outer wall and the box don't touch. And down the bottom where that vent, let's get that in focus, yeah, where that vent comes through, there's actually a crack all the way around. So that little venting pipe, it's attached to the box, but on the outside, it doesn't touch anything. So we're going to fill that with sealant. And what you're looking at here, I'm touching the inner room. That's a part of the inner room, that's a part of the outer room. It's almost like staying on the equator, isn't it? So once we put sealant around here, there's no direct connection, no rigid connection between the inner room and the outer room. And then I can put this nice little, we're calling this a loose gasket. It kind of goes, sits about there like that, and I'm going to build a little box around it so it looks neat. But that'll all be sealed and nothing's actually touching, not rigidly. So can you imagine how much thinking and planning that took? Well, we had to attach the pipe first. So he had to build this outer wall, number one. Then we had to get the box and move it in from the outside, so from the inside. Once it was in place, then he was able to put the inner wall where it is now. So it had to be done in that order. Otherwise, it just wouldn't have worked. So we had to think this stuff through way before we started building, and it's worked really well. Another thing worth mentioning is we've got the ventilation boxes sitting on their own isolation pads. So this will actually, the box is going to be permanently attached to that frame, but it's sitting on its own box so that the weight of it doesn't sort of pull the frame out of whack, and so that it's not connected to the concrete. The reason it's only on one rail is because I wasn't confident that I built this with enough precision that it would sit flat when it was bolted against the frame. So that allows the box to kind of rock back and forth depending on if there's any problems with the way I built it, and it can rock back and forth and still maintain the same amount of pressure on, it's got 3 pads, 1, 2, 3. Now you might be wondering, why did I bother to make these at all myself? You know, why didn't I just get someone else to make them? Well, Ultraphonic could have made these for me, but by the time I'd settled on my design and I'd set a date for beginning this build, they were going to be closed for Christmas, and they already had all their orders in place up to that time. They couldn't fit me in, so I really had no choice. I had to build them on my own. In hindsight, I think I probably should have just gotten them to build it, because although they sell them for about $2,000 for the pair, it's probably cost me, I'll have to add it up, but it's probably definitely cost me over $1,000 in materials, maybe more, to build them. And the amount of time, my goodness. Dean reckons he could have built these in a day, but I'm proud of them, and I know what's in them, I know how they've been built, and I feel confident that for the next 10, 20 years they're going to be supplying me fresh air, and I can rely on them. So